again.
And we're welcoming you all wherever you are. Let us know where you are. This is Keith Fields.
And this is Lady Sarah.
And thanks for joining us for a cup of tea.
Here we go. Cup of tea. Hope you've got one to hand. I know I have.
And hopefully you're seeing us live on Facebook at the Magic Soiree and also on Keith Fields' YouTube. The tragedy is I don't think you're live on LinkedIn, which I'm really fed up about now.
We were trying to get live on LinkedIn as well, but so you can watch us on YouTube. That's the Keith Fields channel. Next time you'll be able to watch us on LinkedIn, themagicsoiree.com, and our various Facebook channels.
Look at you.
I think that's got that all covered.
Yeah, that's done everything.
That's the
Chat,
asset.
throw up some comments. Always lovely to see you. We'll do you a little shout out later. But yeah, please let us know where you are.
Yes, this is an interactive show, and you as our audience are part of it. So do feel free to ask questions of us as we progress. And we will have a little game for you to join in with later on as well.
And of course, as Brits, we have to talk about the weather.
Yes, what's happening to it?
It's raining in Michigan. I don't know where you are in the world, but it's blinking raining here.
I know, but the good news is I did a look at the up and coming weather for the next few days.
Oh, look at you with your...
Summer is coming, folks.
We'll have a chart at the back here soon. Cloudy in London.
No, but it's going to be 60s all week. There's a bit of rain, but it's okay. It's going to be 60s. Next week it's going to be 70s. That's quite warm if you are in... getting
anywhere
nice
else, anywhere else. But do hit the like button, send us a note, send us some chats. Lovely to see you. Keith, come on, tell them about your dreadful coffee.
I've discovered a new version of coffee, which I'm absolutely loving, which I'm recommending.
It's not instant.
It's not instant, no. I'm going for the Nespresso. A Nespresso shot of espresso from the Nespresso machine. And
Lovely.
Look, this is my new discovery. Look at this. Planet Oak extra creamy original oat milk. It's absolutely fantastic. You put it in the frothy thing, and it's like drinking coffee flavored porridge. It's absolutely delicious. I like it. It's my drink. I'll drink what I like.
Okay. Well, we've got some people out there who are. Oh, look, Mary Poppins in the background. Thank you, Chris Harper. Love that. Great. And Dave Kirby, hello from Waterford in Michigan.
Nice to see you, Dave.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And
so today's show, we've got to get through. We've got stuff to do. We've got to get through.
Joe Pop's just here for the British words.
Hello, Joe. Well, we'll get to that very soon. Today's show, I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, mainly because we've got comedy producer Mark Ridley from Michigan's premier comedy club, the Comedy Castle. That was the first comedy club I worked in when we moved here 11 years ago. It was the first comedy club I headlined.
He is a bit of a legend, though, across the country.
He's a legend, absolutely. Another round of Say Something British, that's coming up soon.
And then we have magic from the lovely Joe Chasney. Now, Joe, you saw a few weeks ago, he's a middle school teacher. I'm sure we've got some of his students coming on, so lovely to see you guys. And he gave us some great tips on being teaching your kids at home. But most important, he's here to do some magic for us today.
Yes, but first I have a confession to make.
Oh, darling.
I do.
Is this the time?
Yeah, this is the
There's
time.
a whole bunch of people watching. I'm not sure.
I'm going to bare my soul, yes.
Okay.
I'm okay on Facebook. Kind of understand what that's about. I'm catching up with this social stuff.
Right.
I have a small presence on Instagram.
Oh, look at you. Actually, I think Felicity, our producer, does your Instagram.
She does, actually. She puts that. But it's there. I know it's there. But LinkedIn is a mystery to me. It's just, I just don't get it.
And the tentative link here is?
Well, our first guest is a LinkedIn guru.
Ooh, but look at her here.
She wasn't a LinkedIn guru then.
She was so cute.
Oh, bless. That's so sweet.
Yeah, but do you know what where she went from there?
Where did she go from there?
She went from there to here.
That's quite a first step.
That is quite a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
For the lady who helps people unlock the power of LinkedIn. That sounds very good.
Oh, it does.
It does. Give her a huge round of applause. Brenda Meller.
Yay! Look at you.
I pulled out my props. I saw you guys wearing fun things. I'm like, this is probably the audience I could get away with this get up, right?
Absolutely. Because we dress like this when we're in the office. This is just for us. We're not,
mainly because Keith's covering up his hair, but let's not go there. Let's not go there.
The hair's a problem.
The hair's a true problem. Brenda, tell us, who are you in quarantine with? With that lovely chap we saw at the wedding photo?
I am. My better half, Chris Meller, is upstairs. I told him to watch, and I don't know if he's going to watch right now, but he might pipe in.
Hey, Chris,
and,
if you're not watching, you'll be feeling guilty later.
Yes.
He will, but it's funny because we're both super active on social media, and I try to go out in his pages and I'm like, he very rarely goes on my posts and likes and comments on them. So I'll give him a hard time later. But we've also got our kids, my daughter, who's 8, and my son, who's 15, in the house with us. So we're having fun.
Let me ask you one of my favorite quarantine questions. Is there something you're really missing, or what's the first thing you're going to do when you're allowed out? Is there a favorite place you want to visit?
Yeah, you know what? I miss going to Starbucks. The Starbucks near me has closed, and I think the second nearest location to me has closed. So I know they're open around town and I could take a drive out, but part of it is like getting it and coming home and drinking it hot. And by the time I drove back and forth, it'd be cold already. So, going and meeting somebody for a Starbucks is like, I miss that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Keith, do you want to get this lady choosing you?
Oh yes, we're going to have to play the game of the day, which is say something British, where I say a British word chosen at random from my pack of British words here, and we have to see if we can guess what it means. So I'll run my thumb down the sop like this, and you just say stop.
Get your teeth in now.
Okay, so I'm pulling a card. Okay.
There we go. Here we go.
Stop.
Okay, there we go. So that's fantastic. So the word of the day we've got is that's a fun one. Codswallop. I'll show it to you just so you.
I can type it in here.
Can you type it in? That's
technology.
very good.
Say something British.
Codswallop. So if you heard the word codswallop, would you have any idea on what it means or what it could mean?
Yeah, definitely. That means when you mess something up, you made a big codswallop mess out of it, I think is what that word means.
Very close.
You got to say it with conviction, right? Like, I've been using that word. I made a codswallop out of my books the other day in accounting, and a codswallop on my bookshelf is falling apart over here. Yeah, that's what it means.
It's kind of not exactly the way we do this, but it's actually not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. I'm quite impressed with that.
So Keith, do you want to go back and share your problem with Brenda?
My problem.
It's like an agony aunt.
Yes, this is a real luxury for me. See, I think LinkedIn to me, it's a bit like the UP.
Yeah.
I know.
Careful.
I'm being careful. I know it's there, but I'm not sure what it does.
Oh, there we go.
No, it's not an insult to LinkedIn or the UP because they just fall in the same category. Right. But I know all these social things, they all have their differences. But what is it for? What's the special thing about LinkedIn? Because I kind of don't get it.
No, and I appreciate where you're coming from because, there's some things like me similar. Like when I go into a Lowe's or a Home Depot, I just want to get in and get out of there quickly. And I don't want to ask anybody where the screws are, where the toilet. I feel very uncomfortable in that store. I want to get in and get out. So I get that. I mean, LinkedIn is a professional networking site. It's a place where we meet with and connect with people that we want to do business with, people that we're professionally associated with, whether those are coworkers, vendors, clients, networking contacts. If we belong to professional organizations like the Troy Chamber, we can connect with those people out there. And just like Facebook is a social networking platform where we can keep up with friends and family on a social level, LinkedIn is a professional networking platform where we keep up with people on a professional basis.
You see, if we had a professional basis, if we were professional, that's probably why we can't stream.
Yeah. So would you say that LinkedIn isn't a sort of a networking site for everybody in that sense? There are people that benefit from it more than others.
Yeah, I think there's some people that will definitely benefit from more than others, but I would say, who do you do business with? Like for you and Lady Sarah, when you are doing business with people, who is hiring you? Are those business professionals? Are those business managers? Are those business leaders?
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Can be. Yeah, and people like Mark Ridley.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
On LinkedIn.
So maybe we should be more active on LinkedIn than we are. I do know that two of our children who are in business have used it a lot for that reason, for business networking and that sort of thing. So it is obviously a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
I kind of haven't found out how to make it relate to me.
And of course, you do talks and seminars on LinkedIn as well. I mean, you network, you do seminars on other things, on marketing and the likes, but LinkedIn is your main topic.
It is. Yeah, that's LinkedIn is kind of the depth of knowledge where I mainly focus my business is helping people unlock the power of LinkedIn. I think you said it a little bit earlier.
I love that.
Yeah. So helping.
Was He-Man a big cartoon over here?
Yes, I remember He-Man growing up. Yeah.
When you said that, I was thinking, I have the power.
Yes. Perfect. So lots of seminars, lots of webinars,
and you also do some sort of training, sort of in this online format, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I know that because you had a fantastic show the other day, which I was absolutely riveted watching. Gorgeous presenter. Who was she? And guest as well.
Yeah, I was the guest. She was the presenter.
Yeah, so
it was kind of fun having you guys on. And Keith, you made a celebrity cameo appearance. You did a card trick. My daughter was like mesmerized. She came out, from behind, and then she made me watch the video later because she wanted to see the card trick again. So she really liked the magic.
The show. I photographed, but I found the whole concept of what you're doing on that fascinating, and I think others might. So give us a brief review of what that show is all about.
Yeah, so kind of similar to what you guys are doing. You're doing a Facebook Live and you're on YouTube Live. My series is a LinkedIn Live, and I also simultaneously stream it out to Facebook. So I call my series Social Media Pie. It's an acronym. So the P stands for Inspiring People. That's who I picked to be on the show. So I invited Sarah to be on.
You inspire me every day, my love.
Who inform and educate you. So the I in pie and the E in educate are the words there. And I just have, interesting conversations.
Clever.
I mean, it's like what we say, everyone has a story to share.
Yeah.
And it's finding those stories is what it's all about.
Absolutely. And you've certainly done that. Well, look, what we'd like to do, Brenda, is pop you into the green room, but ask you to come back again for the magic. Is that all right?
That'd be great. Thank you.
But keep the hat, because that is an added bonus. I like the hat. I really
Great
like
colour.
it.
Great colour.
Yes. Oh, no. My goodness, fantastic.
I like somebody that comes prepared. That's perfect.
Yes, I do like that. Right, well, I'm going to pop you in there and see what happens next. Ooh, here we go. Look at that.
Fantastic.
And I'm going to get rid of, look, it's all going now. Now, Keith. Tell us about our next guest.
How we met up. I used to work in the UK comedy clubs many years ago when we were based over there. So when we moved here, one of the people I obviously wanted to get to know was the biggest producer of comedy in the Midwest.
Dun, dun, dun.
These people, they're quite often, they're people that sort of control our careers, and they're quite often kind of a bit nasty, but
hard to get hold of.
But this guy, everyone said he was one of the nicest guys in the world. And the nice thing about him, when we did meet him, he was really helpful, pointing us in the right direction.
And time again. Time again.
And he sent us some photos of him.
Oh, and here he is. Look at him. Which one is he?
I don't know. I'll take a guess. I'm going.
He's wearing the stripes.
One of the ones in the stripes. I think he might be the oldest one, actually.
But look, here he is, all grown up, graduating. Look at that. That handsome fellow. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the phenomenal, the world famous
Mark Ridley.
Yay!
Hello.
Hey, Mark, how are you doing, sir?
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And yourselves?
Yeah, we're excellent. We're in good form. Now, every time we speak to you, you seem to be in some far-flung place lately. I know the Comedy Castle is based here in Royal Oak, but you seem to be either in LA or Florida or the other side of the...
No, we have a home over here on the west side of the state on Lake Michigan. So that's where we're sequestered and quarantined. The lake's on one side, 30 acres of woods behind us. This is where social distancing is the norm, not the exception.
So you're not in the castle right now, no, not right now, but just tell us, back to those photos, which one are you? Look, I'll bring those back up. Which one
right
are
there, back in center, the oldest one.
You're all grown up. Look at you. You kept control of them all. I love that. I love
the matching jackets. Was that?
that youth jacket. That's my younger brother. There's three brothers. There's three of us and two sisters. And that brother in the other striped outfit is 6'4". So he just shot right up, and I stayed at a certain level.
You capped out. So let's look at the comedy world. How did it all start for you? Because you've been really at the epicenter of it for many years.
Well, it was something that I did after I graduated college. I went to Los Angeles to try out the film director school out there at USC. And while I was there, I would go to the Comedy Store, the Improv, every evening, or as much as I could. And at that time, that's when Richard Pryor was performing, Robin Williams, David Letterman had just moved out there. So I just thought it was a fantastic idea. And when I didn't fare well at the director school, I came back and noodled around for about a year and just said, okay, I'm going to put this idea in motion. And it started January 4th, 1979.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. 79. That's
41 years ago. Yeah.
41 years ago. Wow.
Wow, Mark.
Yeah.
And you've seen many of the greats. You've brought them here to Michigan.
Yeah.
In fact, Keith
He
performed
brought
there.
me here to Michigan. I remember when we first chatted, and I mean, obviously, I've been in the comedy world for quite a long time, but I was totally green when it comes to over here. And you said, I've got a spot for an MC on a show, and I walked in. There was this guy who I'd never heard of who was headlining, someone called Dave Coulier or something.
Right.
So there's me walking into MC, which is kind of a very weird thing. It was all very bizarre. And then I discovered the guy there was a big TV star and a local legend, and he was one of the nicest guys.
Oh, great. Dave is just great. And he's actually moved back to Michigan. He's done the full circle. He's retiring from show business, and his home is being built here in Michigan. So it's
in the magic world, of course, you've had the amazing Jonathan. We saw the amazing Jonathan.
Who is sort of faring well. I mean, I keep in touch with him from time to time. His health's not the best, but he reaches out and we touch base about once every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, we saw him a few months ago as well, and he's doing great.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
Yeah.
So what are these guys doing now? They can't get together in clubs.
Yes. Our industry seems to have taken a bit of a.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing with the entertainment industry. Obviously, having a comedy club, intimacy is very important. Our room holds 400 people, so you can only imagine that if I get the go-ahead to open, I'm not going to open at 400. It'll be more like 100 to 200, depending on what the social media or the requirements are, the stipulations. So a lot of virtual shows are being done. And one of the comedians I know, Steve Hofstetter, has started an online comedy club called the Nowhere Comedy Club. And they sell 400 tickets to each show. Right. And it's through Zoom. He's a little more tech savvy than I am, but he's leaving it up to me to produce, pull together 4 comedians. And the comedians, when they're performing, can actually hear the laughter of the audience.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's good.
And he's had quite a few big names on it. We just discussed it at length a couple of days ago. Some just do shows from their basements or from their living rooms. And I've seen Ben Bailey do his every week on Wednesday from his basement, I guess. But Steve seems to be a little more, like I said, a little more savvy, a little more high scale up tech, and those are becoming quite popular. A lot of us are just waiting for that word to say you can go back, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that this doesn't go for 5 years.
Yeah.
I think there is definitely an old school, new school thing happening here. There's going to be a whole load of people who are quicker on the uptake because they're more tech savvy, who are going to experiment with new techniques. And it is going to enrich comedy, I think, in the long run. And that kind of excites me.
When you think about the number of YouTube specials out there, I mean, look, YouTubers are, they're a breed amongst themselves. I mean, when they have millions of views, and I'm late to the party. I'm learning more about this as time goes by. I'm used to talking to my social media person who knows far more than I do because she's so much younger. But it is, again, each comedian I've spoken to, they miss that intimacy, the fact that they could stand there and hear immediate laughter right back. And to do it on the computer, on your laptop or desktop, that's, that they miss that distancing. And of course, because things are changing, that means that the finances are going to change. The number of shows that we're doing are going to change. I'm in talks with a lot of club owners around the country. And we're all trying to find our own way to make sure that we can get back in there and open up to the public safely again.
Yeah. And of course, you're running a fundraiser as well at the same time. I noticed that on your website, Tip Your Wait Staff. did that come about?
Well, that came about. One of our staff saw Mike Birbiglia, the comedian, had started this because Mike is a great comedian, but he's even a nicer person. I mean, he goes into a comedy club and he'll interact with the staff, and he has a deep personal feeling with each club that he goes to. So when I saw this, and I reached out to Mike and his manager, and they told me how to go about it, and we did that. Got the GoFundMe page up, and then last week we scheduled conversations with some of our comedians, Comedy Castle alumni. The first day was Tim Allen and Dave Coulier, and it was hosted by Ken Calvert and Jim O'Brien from WCSX. So we did that 3 days in a row with different Comedy Castle alumni, and now we're a little over $9,000 that we're going to divvy up for our staff.
Brilliant.
Good work.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Oh, well done
What a great
you.
idea.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Keith, I know that you're longing to ask Mark an answer to this question.
I've got a very important question, Mark, actually.
Okay, go right ahead, Keith.
Have you any idea what codswallop is?
Well, I really thought is when you beat your fish.
So did Joe Pop.
It's another
Oh,
God.
I mean, my wife and I are big fans. We have Acorn TV, we have BritBox.
Yeah.
And so I'm always hearing expressions. So I'm knackered. All right, I look it up. I'm knackered. I'll say that once in a while. I have to go to bed. I'm knackered. So go to 6 o'clock. Or really watch Call the Midwife. All right.
Yes.
And we always wonder what happened to the in go to the hospital or the baby. It's always baby or hospital. Go to hospital.
Abbreviated in the north of England, the word "the" was abbreviated to just the letter T.
Okay.
Go to hospital. And
hospital. Okay.
took that, and it was.
Look at you with your northern
I can
linguistics.
speak northern. Oh, absolutely.
Well, having made a couple of trips over to England in the past, and we are of British descent, the Ridley family means reed fields. We were workers in the field. So my aunt and my brother are very much so into genealogy. So I have a deep affection for Britain.
Perfect. Well, that's what we like. We like people who like the Brits.
Because we need the money.
Mark, I'm going to bring young Brenda back in and introduce you to our magician. Obviously, you got to know Brenda earlier. Look, she's eating.
She's the one with the hat.
She's put herself on mute, so we can't hear her.
You surprised her, didn't you?
No, I did surprise.
I did. Well, you guys want to hear what happened? So I did a LinkedIn Live earlier, and I was talking to Greg Coyne, and he said he was talking about do the hard task early in the day. It's kind of like eating Brussels sprouts. And I'm like, I love Brussels sprouts. So I made like a little bowl of roasted Brussels sprouts. And I was like running around today and I didn't get a chance to eat lunch. So I'm like, I got to eat something. So I'm like eating in the background here.
That's good. The Brussels sprouts could be like your popcorn as we have some entertainment.
As we have. Let us bring on our magician. Here he is looking cute here. Look at that. Superman.
Yeah.
All right.
Girl. It's cute there. Truly lovely. And then as he got a bit older, obviously dressing up was a thing for him, I think.
Yeah, he was maybe considering a life as a DJ, but what are those big round black things?
They're called records, darling.
Records?
Oh, yeah.
No,
remember those?
No,
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one, the only, Mr.
Joe Chesney!
Hi, everybody.
Perfect.
Hello, Joe.
Do you have questions for me, or you want me to get started?
Well,
you want to rush ahead, do you? Just
Joe,
We only have 5 minutes, so I want to get right to it.
Joe's keen to get going. Joe's a great friend of ours, a regular performer at the Magic Soiree. So, Joe, let's just throw to you, and you can do what you do best.
All right.
Because you're a brilliant teacher. I don't mean that.
Although there's some people saying, what a cutie.
I know her. She's married. And her husband's way bigger than me. So hopefully she doesn't show him that. Anyway, so we're going to start off with something pretty cool. This is a flame. This is a candle. No flame. No candle. Hey! It's right? Well, now all this stuff, we got the confetti and everything. Classic of magic here. To save some time, it's a cut and restored rope. To save some time, I already cut the rope. And to save even more time, I actually already restored it as well. So there you go. Look at that. No magnet, No tape. That's 2 tricks down, 12 to go, and we got 3 minutes left here. Okay, next trick, another very, very common trick here, a little red ball here, a little red ball. And on the count of 3, I'm gonna put it nice and close, hands in view the entire time, okay? On the count of 3, that ball is going to disappear, okay? But first, we actually have to snap the fingers. Now, that snapping fingers doesn't actually do it. I'm gonna show you how it works. 1, 2, 3, the ball goes into the hand, snap the fingers, and do it. It does, the bowling, that does it. And how does that, nobody, Jason Magic knows how that one's done.
Yeah, no, we like that. We're giving you a round of applause. Look, Brenda's got a light.
Thank you. Right. Here's one that I figured out you could do during a stay-at-home order. I figured if you take a cell phone here, and a balloon, a cell phone and a balloon. You take the 2 items, set one down right on top of the other. Napkin, or in this case, a little black cloth here. You use anything to just cover that right on up. And watch this. Snap the fingers, magical pose, right? And just like that, amazingly, the balloon actually completely surrounds the phone. It's completely, you can even blow it up. Is it crazy? I don't even know how that works. I have no idea. It's the cloth. The cloth does it. I'm not sure. And now we're going to do a little bit of mind reading. A little bit of, whoop, that's for later. A little bit of, okay. Mind reading here. Do you want a phone? No. Here. Sarah, just a quick question for you. This is a prediction. Do you have any idea what is written on the back of this card?
No.
That is correct. A big round of applause. We didn't even have to plan that out. It works for everybody. Okay, so I've got one more thing I'd like to show you. Going through anybody been cleaning out their junk drawers and closets? I've been doing this like crazy. And I found something that I don't even know why. I probably bought this at a magic flea market way back. What are we going to do with a blank deck of cards? I have no idea what to do with this, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. So I know that you might think that I have these in some kind of a prearranged order that I can know where the cards are. I'll shuffle them up for you. Let me shuffle these cards up, and I'll give them a good mix. Okay. Now let's see, Brenda. Could you do me a favor? Can we get Brenda on the screen, maybe? Brenda, just say stop anytime.
Stop anytime.
Oh, we got one for you. Brenda, we have about 4 cards going here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just name 1, 2, 3, or I guess, yeah, 1. Hard to do in the reverse screen here. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
3.
Okay, we'll go with 4. Okay. I've got the card. Now, this is your blank card here going all the way into the center of the deck. And I know what you're thinking. They're all blank. How am I going to know which one's mine? Just trust me. Just trust me. Okay. So your card goes into the center of the deck. All I have to do is snap my fingers. And amazingly, that card, your blank card, right back to the top. Isn't that something? You got where that came from. I'm going to take your blank card. I'm going to place it right down here on this little table, okay? Another interesting item I have here that I found in a junk drawer. I wasn't sure what to do with this. It's like a handkerchief. Got a card printed on it. So I thought, hey, let's just try this. I'm going to take the handkerchief, put it into my hand all the way inside the hand, just like this. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's leave the bottom hanging out just a little ways there. So the bottom's hanging out a little ways. And now what that'll allow me to do is just tap the top of this card right here. Give it a little tap. And you remember that 5 of spades that was here? Check it out, guys. That 5 of spades is now gone. It's blank.
Oh.
All right. And that can only mean one thing. That, remember that blank card? Yeah, you guessed it. It's the 5 of spades. Oh, wait. There's more. If I go and tap that to the rest of the deck of cards, of course, the entire deck of cards that was once blank is now complete cards. And ladies and gentlemen, that's magic. It's magic. Yes.
Mr. Joe Chesney. What a legend.
What a legend.
What a
legend. People.
You want a bonus trick? I'll give you a bonus trick.
Okay, Joe. Oh, no.
I know the time's up. Don't. This is how you turn a coffee cup into a teacup. You see, you cover it like this, and when you lift this up, it becomes a teacup. The handle is now on the other side. Just ignore that.
Yeah. Joe, thank you as always.
Good.
You know, you are amazing, absolutely amazing. And
you got some confetti in that thing.
Perfect. We like to come up. Oh, hold on.
I have got to tell you the final meaning of codswallop.
Oh, the final.
Wait, I need to guess.
The final meaning of
No,
codswallop.
hold on. Joe's
I
going
want
to
to
guess.
guess.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
I think it's an expletive. Like when you're angry, you mess something up. Like codswallop.
Yeah, that close, but no cigar.
Ahead.
No, it says the meaning of the way you'd use it. You were actually quite close. It means like a load of baloney or a load of hooey or bunkum, something along those lines. So we say something is a load of codswallop. That's basically what it means. Hooey, baloney. That's how you'd use the American equivalent.
There you go.
There you go.
You have the word codswallop to add to your lexicon.
Yeah.
Right.
Add the word lexicon.
Guys, we're very close to the end, so let's just go around quickly. Positive thought, Brenda. Positive thought for this time.
Inspire somebody else to inspire yourself. There we go.
Ooh, wow, I like that. That was quite profound.
Deep as well.
Yeah. Okay. Joe, Joe, where are you? Go for it. Quick one.
I made this one for my students. Don't count the days. Make the days count during this stay-at-home order.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. Mark, we're down to
so
you.
much. Well, we're all in this together, so stay positive. It's only temporary, and we'll be all back together soon.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it.
We truly are.
And we want to thank each and every one of you guys for giving up your time to come on. So thanks to our guests today, the magic of Joe Chasney, the legend who is Mark Ridley, and the woman who finally explained to me what LinkedIn is all about, Brenda Meller. Thanks so much for coming, guys. All it remains for us to do is say, that's Lady Sarah.
This is Keith Fields.
Cheerio.